Yeah, let's start with the Astros and the Angels. You got Lambert going for Houston. You got Detmers going for the Angels here. How do you break this game down?
Yeah, Houston, when I look at a consensus, they're around a minus 110 favorite here on the road against the LA Angels, and rightfully so. And I think we're catching a real good price, what all considered here on Houston. Look, the Astros rallied from a 4-2 deficit going into the top of the ninth last night to win that game 6-4. This is a fragile LA Angels team when it comes to confidence, and that certainly didn't help their confidence after that, that meltdown. And last night, with that win, the Astros have now won 6 of their last 7 games. And Pete Lambert gets a start, as Andy alluded to, for the Houston Astros, and he's been solid in 6 road starts this year, 2.78 ERA and 1.18 WHIP. Those are pretty good numbers. His last 5 overall, a 2.45 ERA and a 1.02 WHIP. In the Houston bullpen over their last 6 games, 4 for 4 on save opportunities and a 4.8 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. Those are good numbers as well. Now, Reed Detmer is interesting. He's much better than his record indicates. However, over his last 4 starts, he's 0-4 in his team starts. With a 4.87 ERA, and he allowed 5 home runs in 20 1/3 innings pitched during that course of time. And, Andy, if you've been paying attention to the possible moves at the MLB trade deadline, Reed Detmer's name seems to be popping up left and right. So he's almost like a lame duck pitcher in this situation. The Houston Astros, by the way, 30 for 111 lifetime, current Houston roster, 30 for 111 lifetime against Detmer. It's a 270 team batting average and also a very good 386 on base percentage. I put a lot more stock into this, Andy, how the current roster does against a starting pitcher than how a starting pitcher does against a franchise, period. Like over the last 5 years, Detmer's got a 1-something ERA against Houston. I'm being hypothetical. I want to know how he's done against his current roster, not, the last 4 or 5 years. In any event, the Angels have lost 4 of their last 5. They've lost 7 of their last 10 at home. Houston 8-3 in their last 11 games on the road when the money line is between plus 115 and minus 115. So they've done awfully well in games in which of late anyway, in games in which the odds makers see it as a pretty even matchup. I'm going to take Houston here, minus 110 on the money line over the LA Angels.
All right, let's move to the Tigers and the Orioles. But actually, yeah, let's do Tigers and Orioles, and then we got to show Ross getting into it with AI. I'm loving this, Ross. I'm loving Ross, the boss, in the AI.
Yeah, man, I like when I can make you laugh, Andy.
It's a match made in heaven. This is great. So it's like Jordan and Pippen. So let's break down. Let's break down Tigers and Orioles.
Yeah, so the Orioles will go with Dean Kramer on the mound. The Tigers with Troy Melton. And I think Troy Melton, Andy, is one of the most underrated pitchers in the American League. This game goes at 6:40 Eastern. Right now, as we speak, the Tigers, I'm seeing minus 140 at BetMGM. And across the board, they're like 140 to 145 in that area. Dean Kramer, poor form over his last 3 starts, a 7.20 ERA, a 153 WHIP, and 5 home runs allowed in just 15 innings pitched. Troy Melton, on the other hand, like I said, Andy, underrated pitcher. He has a superb 134 ERA and 0.92 WHIP over his last 6 starts, and he also recorded 43 strikeouts and 33 2/3 innings pitched in those 6 outings. Anytime a starting pitcher averages more than a strikeout per inning pitched, it's noteworthy. Current Orioles roster against Melton. Very limited sample size, but it's noteworthy nonetheless, as they're only 1 for 18 against Melton, a 0.56 team batting average. And, Detroit, we talked about Dean Kramer, his vulnerability to giving up the long ball over his last 3 starts. This Tigers team, if you look at their overall home run numbers, it's not real impressive. But when you consider the fact that Detroit has hit 48 home runs, I should say, in their first 56 games, and then they've rebounded to hit 79 over their last 51 outings. That's something to take a look at, folks. Tigers minus 140 for me over the Orioles. I would go as high as 150, folks, and 150 or lower on the Tigers over the Orioles on the money line.
It's $5 Tuesday, so tell us what you have up, and then tell us about college football.
Well, first we'll start with $5 Tuesday. I have a Major League Baseball money line winner up right now at a very reasonable money line price. And Major League Baseball on a 30-21 run with my last 51 Major League Baseball premium picks. That's 59% with a net profit of 29.24 units. Folks, all sports plus 191.32 units in net profit over the last 440 days. So longevity speaks volumes, and it's not a fluke when it lasts that long. So again, folks, you should look into my 365-day all-access pass. If you bought that right now, you're going to get the rest of the baseball season. You're going to get all of college football and the NFL season. You're going to get all of the NBA and college basketball season for $14.59, an average of $4 a day. Let me repeat that again, an average of $4 per day and plus 191.32 units in net profit. That goes all the way back to May 13th of last year, and that includes plus 68.30 units in net profit in Major League Baseball. So again, that's great. And then college football over the last 3 seasons, 182 and 120, 60.3% winners with my college football premium picks, a net profit of over 155 units. That ranks number 1 at WagerTalk over the last 3 seasons. And last year, I actually had the best year out of the 3, and I finished number 2. But still, worth mentioning, last year, 53 and 31 with my college football premium picks. That's good for 63.1%. And I made a net profit of 75.99 units. And that includes 13 and 3 last year on college football 5% best bets. I give out one of those per week, and we did awfully well when doing so. Andy, they can get my college football annual package right now, right through the national championship game, includes everything: regular season, conference championship games, bowl games, college football playoffs, right through the national championship game for only $4.99. I don't know what you people are waiting for. If you bet college football, it's not a one of those one-hit wonders. I've done it for the last 3 years at a very high rate. So there you have it, folks. WT.buzz/RB. WT.buzz/RB is my personal link over at WagerTalk.com.